Well, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 9 of the Unmasked podcast.
That's that's right. It's 9. That's
We,
that's that's the number we've
this is
we've achieved.
that's right.
It's been our target. Like the study that you
Gotta get to
talked
9.
about was past 8. Most of them collapse and stop. But ninth episode, we have been consistent. We've released every Tuesday. We've had all kinds of hangups and problems as we've
That's
been
right.
like learning to do this and getting this out. But even through all that, we've been consistent.
That's right. We're here.
And we did it for you guys.
Yeah.
We did it for you.
I think I feel like this deserves some sort of big celebration.
I know it does. It does. What are we gonna celebrate? How are we gonna celebrate?
I don't know, man. We go to Top Golf.
We
Oh,
could.
I love how I immediately was like, how can you and I celebrate?
Right, right. How we celebrate the viewers. Like we should do a giveaway. Maybe one of our sponsors will donate something to give away to a podcast listener
There we
or
go.
a subscriber. Oh wait, we don't have any sponsors. Not a one.
Not a one sponsor.
Hey, if you're out there, do you know somebody that would want to sponsor us, even with a T-shirt?
Yeah.
We will talk about you as long as it's a cool T-shirt.
Yeah. There we go.
We've been giving away free sponsorships, man. I talked about my barber. We talked about, several other companies. I'm always rocking some type of gear. I got my Sweetens Cove. Oh, wrong side. That's the mirror there. Right here, my Sweetens Cove gear. It's a golf course out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's that secret place.
Is that the one that you went down and golfed recently?
Yeah, I did. So I got my Sweetens Cove hoodie on. So shout out to Sweetens Cove. If you want to sponsor us, that would be great. It's never going to happen, but that'd be awesome.
Dude, you have the best hats too. I love that you're wearing a Dare hat right now.
That's right, bro. Dare to care. So funny thing about this hat. Okay, so I have several Dare items. I have a hat, a hoodie, and a T-shirt because it just reminds me of childhood. I think it's it's vintage, it's throwback or whatever.
Absolutely.
Dude, I was in Kroger one day just shopping. I was walking to the self checkout, just kind of like off of my own little world. And an employee like walks up to me and stops me and he goes, "That program failed." Like intense, like that program failed. And I wasn't even thinking about the shirt that I had on. I was like, "Excuse me?"
What
He's like, "That
about?
program failed." And like he was like offended. I'm like, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Your shirt." And I had to like look down. I'm like, "Oh, Dare? Oh, sorry. My bad. I don't work there. It's just
a
that
t-shirt.
shirt that it's just a shirt I got from PacSun. I don't know. Like
that's probably
like,
why it failed. It's because PacSun.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guess he went through the program and life didn't go so well for him. I don't know, but yeah, it was uncomfortable. But it's crazy because after that happened, I've had like 4 or 5 more interactions where people will like make a comment about the program. And only one of them's been like, "Dude, I love that hat," or whatever. It's always been like, yeah, I went through that as a kid. Didn't work for me. Like,
sorry.
My bad. Sorry. Do you want me to take my hat off? My bad.
I guess I didn't think about it from that perspective because I do.
Yeah,
man. I love every time you wear the hat or the shirt. I've seen all of them. So
yeah,
they always bring back memories. But it's I didn't think about the fact that program could have failed some people.
Yeah, bro. I guess so. You learn every day. People are going to let you know when they're offended.
That's right.
That's our culture today. Like everyone is easily offended, and no one just says, "Man, that makes me feel uncomfortable," and keeps it moving. They got to let you know.
Yep.
I guess there's pros and cons to that to an extent, but whatever. So
it's everything. You can't wear anything anymore without somebody being offended by it.
Yeah, it's good times.
It's life we live.
Good times.
It's okay.
It is. So what's been going on, man?
Well, Bengals got another dub yesterday. Scrappy, but made it happen.
A win's a win.
Out.
Yep.
I love 4 red zone stops.
Yeah, they had two fourth down stops, so turnover that way. on downs, and then
Interception.
had one interception, and I think they had one field goal. So they were in the red zone like 4 times there at the end of the game. And I think they got one field goal, one interception, and two
I love the way
turnover
you
on
say
downs.
field goal, by the way.
How do I say that funny?
Field goal. What did you say it again?
Field goal, field goal. Hey, what's so funny is, man, is there's apparently I say so. There's like a handful of things that I say really weird. I don't know if it's my accent or just how I say it or what. I don't know, but I've never heard that
You're
one.
from
There's
Kentucky, though,
there's
right?
there's several.
You're not
Dude,
from, where are you from? Kentucky.
yeah, I'm from Louisville,
Born and raised in Louisville.
born and raised, man.
All
I'm a city kid.
right. Field goal.
So field goal, field goal, field goal,
There it is.
field goal.
Yeah, dude. So
But yeah, no,
big dub.
we got the win. I love what Zach Taylor said after the game, man. He's like, I'm never going to apologize for a win.
That's right.
So I love it. I'm here for it. We needed it. We needed to be 3-3 going into the bye week. I mean, we needed to be better than that, but with was what it was, we needed to for sure be 3-3 going into that bye week, and hopefully we can get healthy. Burrow looked good, man. He scrambled once yesterday, dude, which was one of the best.
That big old zigzag that he was doing all over.
Like in, out, hop, flip. Like, dude, I was hyped.
Yeah, he looked good.
No, so here's the bad thing though about living in Louisville is so before when the Bengals were trash, I didn't get to watch very many Bengals games.
Yeah.
Because, we're in our area, they'll either show the Colts game or the Bengals game.
Right.
And back when the Bengals were trash, it would be kind of 50-50. Yeah. And so one of the great things about after the Bengals, went on that run and went to the Super Bowl, last season, dude, like every single time the Bengals played, it was on TV. Didn't matter. Didn't matter if the Colts were playing or not.
Yeah.
The Bengals were on. But I guess because we started off so poorly, the Bengals game was not on TV in Louisville yesterday. It was the freaking Colts game.
Man.
And I didn't realize it. So after church yesterday, we have a young couple in our church that are expecting, and they had a baby shower for her, and then all the guys went to Roosters, got some wings, did a diaper party. Yeah. I guess that's what they're doing nowadays for guys.
Yeah.
So we did a diaper party, just went out there and ate some wings and watched the Bengals game. I was stoked. And so I'm like, halftime, we roll out, we leave. And I went to pull it up on my phone on Hulu to record it so I get home and watch the second half, and it wasn't there. And I was not happy at all. So, but luckily, one of the guys I follow on Instagram, I think it's Zim Hude. He's got Bengals account, and I don't know if I should say this or not, but he streamed it live on Instagram, and I got to watch the game. So I very much appreciate him. I sent him a little bit. I sent him a little bit of money. Well, Instagram does like these badges now or whatever. You can like buy a badge that goes to them or whatever. I dropped him a little bit of coins. Appreciate that, man. He paid for the Sunday ticket. I'm too cheap to pay for it. So shout out to Zim Hude.
I mean, he made it public. I mean, it's like you can say it. I feel like.
Yeah. I guess that's right. He put it out there. So
no.
So yeah, so it's good stuff, man. So excited for the Bengals. Hopefully we can go on another run like we have the past couple of years and finish strong, make the playoffs and take a deep run in it. But
what we got to do is get to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything can happen when you get to the playoffs.
Let Joe cook.
That's right. So what about you? What's going on in your life?
A lot.
What about it?
A lot. It's we'll have another episode on it once I can get my head around some things. But it's interesting that we had the episode on change last week, and I texted you like the day on Tuesday when it released. I had some things, some great things in life. It's nothing bad or anything. It's just great things, but massive, major, maybe the biggest change of my life kicked off last week. So we'll save that for another day. We'll leave the suspense there for you guys. If you're in my circle, you already know. But yeah, so just working through that and trying to figure out life and wrap my head around it. So
yeah.
We'll leave that suspense out there. We'll
All
let it
right.
hang.
Dude, this is 2 weeks of suspense. What did we have? I just remember saying that last week.
Did we? Were we supposed to say something this
What?
week?
Hang on. What was it?
I don't know.
Oh. It was because I said we'll leave the people in suspense whether or not we're
Oh,
actually going to drop episode 9.
yeah, yeah. And I think we've said too, like some guests we're gonna have on, but we leave that hanging too. So
Yeah, we gotta
and
get on that.
yeah, we got to get a guest. It's been tough, man. We've had some ideas. We've had some people trying to link up schedules and our schedule and all that. And I guess with my change coming up, might make it a little more easier because we'll be moving. We've been recording kind of during the daytime, early day. It's 11:53 right now as we record. But we'll probably be moving some recordings to the evenings. Hey, by the way, I didn't know if you knew this, but we're going to be moving our recording time to the evening. I guess I should tell you that first.
You did, you have mentioned that.
Yeah.
So we'll
So, but maybe, hopefully, that'll be easier to get some guests on, maybe. So,
yeah, I
but yeah,
think
it'll be good stuff to come.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
I've talked to said that evenings work better for them. So
Perfect.
that'll be
See,
good.
I'm here for the people. I'm here for the
Sorry.
people.
All right. So world news. Obviously the not to like bring the podcast uh to a screeching halt, but
Right.
we everybody's been following what's going on. We're almost a week and a half, 2 weeks into what's been going on in Israel,
Yeah.
Palestine, Gaza, and I felt like it was necessary for us, we're pastors, to just talk about it for a quick sec, and
Yeah.
I mean,
At least acknowledge it and
yeah,
address it.
acknowledge it. And I mean, if nothing else, like, man, if you are a person of prayer, like, you got to continue to throw as much prayer as you can towards this thing. Doesn't seem like it's calming at all yet.
Yeah.
Um, but I also too, like, I want to preface, these next few moments by also saying, like, you and I are not experts on what's happening.
No.
You know, I don't even know that I'd go as far as to say, even as a pastor, like, a lot of people are claiming this as, end times events. And
Yeah.
while uh while you could see it that way, you definitely
Sure.
could see it that way. I think, for me, like, we talked about this off mic, but like, I think for us as Christians in the here and now, whether this is end times or not, we've still been given a mission to
Yeah.
simply care about humanity. And
Right.
so I think, like, the angle that I'd like to kind of shift these next few moments is not like trying to speak on the war itself and all the different angles, things that are at play, not even necessarily speak at it from like the biblical and times perspective, but like, we have a call to care about humanity, and there
Yeah.
is devastation and chaos and loss and darkness taking place in Israel and Palestine and Gaza um that's just not okay. It's just not good,
Yeah.
right? And
It's awful.
and so I guess, I mean, if nothing else, I'll even just end it here and kind of pass it to you to say a thought. But like, um,
Yeah.
as people, we need to, no matter where you fall on like choosing sides, whether
Right.
you look at it this from a biblical angle or just a political angle, or
Yep.
a just the fact that war is broken out in that land, like, um we just got to care about the people and figure out what that means for us, figure out what that looks like for us. Again, as Christians, like, we should be praying heavily
Yeah.
for the Israelis, for the Palestinians, for those that are the innocent people that are just being torched in Gaza, and like,
That's awful.
it's unbelievable. And so we got to care about it, I guess, is all I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. And
Yeah. I
whatever, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You finish that thought if you
I was
want.
just gonna say, and whatever that looks like for you, whatever
Yeah.
that means for you, and how you feel like, whether it's just prayer support, whether it's trying to connect with organizations that are sending aid, whatever that means for you. Like,
Yeah.
just try and be involved and be aware of what's happening from a humanity perspective.
Yeah. And I think that's the key. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and I hate to beat the same drum, but man, if you go to the news, you're going to, depending on what site you're looking at, get on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you're going to see so many different opinions, so many different views on what's going on and why. I started to watch this video on one of the platforms. I remember what it was. It was like, maybe it was YouTube, like breaking down what's happening in Israel. And then I started watching it, and you could really tell it was just super one-sided.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like jumped into the comments, and then people were like roasting this guy, like, yeah, from your perspective. And it's just
Right.
like, it gets exhausting that way. But I think you're right. I think we as people need to be as informed as possible what's going on in the world today. The problem is we are overwhelmed
Mm.
with, and I've said this before, with just
Yeah.
media consumption. Like, it's, the day this happened, and when it first broke out, I turn on, I don't even remember what we were watching. It was like breaking news, and then it shows like 15, 20 missiles just come and hit this building, like they're like of civilians. And
Right.
I'm just like, dude, we're not intended to see that all the time in front
Yeah.
of us. And it's just like, it's it's heartbreaking, but I think we've become so numb to it that we're just like, well, it's just another war, just another
Yeah.
building blown up. It's just this and it's just that. And again, like you said, as believers, I mean, we have to step back, even outside of, is this the end times? Is this? I mean, people have been saying my whole life, every event that's happened, it's like, oh, this is this is the end times. Jesus is coming back. And it's like,
Well,
at the end of the day,
Jesus himself said, as soon as he ascended into heaven, you are in the end times.
yeah, like, and
This
and you're
started
not going to know the day, the
right.
time, the hour. Like, and so we know Jesus is coming back. That's
Right.
what we believe. We believe
Right.
that Jesus will return.
Right.
And that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to look at signs. I don't need to watch videos about the Jordan is drying up, and hearing,
Yeah.
from the caverns, you can hear demons screaming or whatever, and they're going to be unleashed based off revelation and all this and that. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, if that's your jam, dig into it all you want. I'm concerned with, how are we loving people?
Right.
How are we leading people? And in this situation, you hit the nail on the head. There are people that are caught up in the middle of this, civilians, innocent people. There are people on both sides that believe what they're doing is the right thing, and it's creating chaos.
Yeah.
And it's harming people. People are being destroyed. Families are being destroyed. People are being kidnapped, and
Yeah.
all kinds of, any heinous thing imaginable, we've heard it's been happening.
Yeah.
And we need to be people of prayer. We
Yeah.
need to pray for peace. We need to pray for these individuals, both sides.
Yeah.
Not for one to dominate or conquer the other, or per se, or whatever. And again, there is a lot of biblical implications, and that we need to support, protect Israel, and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, this is destroying the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
This is destroying people's lives. There are people that are dying, like thousands and thousands of people that are dying as a result of this. And we have to try to desensitize ourselves from being comfortable with seeing and hearing all this stuff, and allow our heart just to break a little bit, because it's so overwhelming to fully live, but allow our heart to soften up enough to say, you know what, like, these are people's lives. That's someone's son, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's child, and let's just spend some time in prayer for them.
That's right. I think I've seen a lot of videos too, and I was shocked initially at how many like social media channels were being allowed to post the content that they were posting
Oh
from
my
the
gosh.
ground in Israel, in Gaza, and like it Like
bodies laid out and
bro,
stuff, and it's just like,
I've seen things over this last week and a half that like just via these videos that man, a part of me wishes I would have never seen.
but
I was sharing this with somebody the other day, and he was like, you know, at some point though, we got to recognize that like what we wish we would not have seen is the actual reality of what those people are experiencing there.
true.
And at the very least, we should, as you just said, we should allow it to like open our minds to and our hearts to recognize that like this is heartbreaking. This is devastating.
This is their reality.
This is their reality. And for us just to get a tiny taste of it, as horrific as it might be to watch, might not be a bad thing. And
Yeah, and with a balance. And I
with
think
a
that's the
balance.
thing. It's a
Yeah.
balance because, I just started a message series called Fear, and I'm talking about, I talked a little bit yesterday just about how, our society just pushes us to be afraid of everything.
It does.
And
Because that's how you move
and
people.
right. And
The
it's
government
a
knows
business.
that.
Like the news,
Yeah.
social media is a business. Like
Yeah.
while it is good to be aware, to not be ignorant, to not put your head in the sand and live in our little, cushy, houses and lives in America while this is all going on around us, we need to understand truly what's going on. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't like the traumatic effect that it has to us and to our children, even secondary. And I'm not saying that it's like poor us, what they're experiencing going through is I can't even put it on the same level of anything that we've ever
Right.
experienced.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to be knowledgeable, but we also have to be careful with how much of that we consume.
That's right.
Because, it does have an effect on us, and it can be a positive thing, but it could also be a negative thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's just we have to find that balance of, again, allowing it to pierce our hearts a bit so that we're compassionate and we're empathetic. But some people are wired to be incredibly passionate and empathetic, and in seeing that constantly can send them into a spiral because they feel so much for
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
And some people can see those images that we're talking about and just scroll on past. It's like,
Just
oh,
move
that's
on. You're
that's
right.
wild. Boom on. Oh, here's a funny video. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
And I think that's some of the damaging effect also is that they have become desensitized to horrific things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
Well, I think that's a good point. I think again, ultimately, let's let's do our best as people to be compassionate, understanding, aware. Let's care about the chaos, the darkness, the brokenness, the devastation happening to innocent people.
yeah.
On all sides,
Yeah.
um and whatever part you feel
Yeah.
like you're supposed to play in that, pursue
Right. Because I think the other piece, and I'll say this and then I'll be done so we can move on to something a little more uplifting.
that.
Um, you know, I think it too, people start picking sides and and all that stuff, but there are innocent people on both sides.
Right.
I always think about, when Russia invaded Ukraine,
Right.
which
Right.
still ongoing.
Right.
I have a friend that I met through a mutual friend. He's a tattoo artist in Russia, and he was here doing a tour, a tattooing tour, and he came and stopped off in Louisville for a while, and he came to church. I got to meet him. Just a really cool dude, and we've stayed connected on social media. And dude, so many people in Russia despise and hate what's happening and are
Right.
against it, and
Right.
and they are victims in this, as well. But we like to cast just to villainize a whole country or
Right.
everybody. Well,
Right.
oh, you're Russian, then you're terrible. Oh, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
And we've got to remember that this isn't everybody. I mean, people villainize us as Americans
Yeah.
in other countries because they've got a lot of reason to do so, because sometimes we're a bunch of arrogant gangsters, basically.
Yeah.
But that's not everybody. If people looked at our government, and I don't want to go off on that tangent, but just at some of the things that we've done that have happened, you would think all Americans are that way, but we're not.
Right.
So anyway, I think, just learn what you can learn, know what you can know, be intelligent with it, be careful what you watch. Don't be swayed one way. Just spend time in prayer about it. If you're a person of prayer, and a believer, ask God how you should feel about this and maybe what steps you should take. But we do know that we should be in prayer for peace. For the innocent lives that are being lost, and families. And so there's a lot that we can talk to God about, take it to him.
That's right. It's good.
So,
all right, we can move on. Thank you.
All right. Well, moving on. I thought, we'll shift from a little heaviness to, I figured we could have a little fun today. We've kind of had a topic that we wanted to carry each time, but, what I've realized is, you and your dad started this podcast several years back during COVID. And, so you already had kind of a small following and people that were there over there in Cincinnati and in your networking community.
Right.
And so some of them may not know me too well, other than just what they've learned in the past 8 episodes. And same thing for me. I've got some people now in my network and in my life and that are listening to the podcast or watching it that know you loosely or know you just from what I've shared about you or from the podcast. So I thought we'd spend a little time and get to know your hosts.
I love it.
Just a few little fun questions and some things. I hate to say icebreakers. Anytime I say, "Oh, let's do an icebreaker," I love icebreakers. My wife hates icebreakers. Like I get if I'm with a new group, I'm like, "Let's do an icebreaker," and she's like, "Dude, that is the worst thing ever." But I'm an extreme extrovert. She's like an introverted extrovert. So I gotta chill. So this I thought would be fun. If it sucks, then sorry. But I figure we do some unmasked questions for the hosts.
All right. I love it.
So
hit me.
So I figure we start off and none of these are like super deep. They might go. We never know with us. But they're real just kind of fun things just to learn a little bit more about us and how we tick and how we're wired. So the first thing I want to ask you is are there any strange or odd or consistent superstitions you have when it comes to sports or like specific routines that you need to do like before you preach or before you lead a training or something like that?
That's a great question. I think I'm not a very superstitious guy. I'm a little
just a little stitious. There it is. There it is.
We got
Teed
it.
up.
We got
Ready
it.
to go. I stole it from you. I'm sorry.
We got
sorry.
it. No. No, in general, I really am not. I have weird little things I have this really big beer stein looking mug thing that I like to drink out of
for apple juice.
Well, I drink everything in it. Water, beer.
Okay.
Yeah, I drink everything out of it.
I was concerned what was in there. I just don't know, man.
Oh yeah. No, I shouldn't have said beer. Water.
Canceled.
Iced tea. But
non-alcoholic beer. No, I'm just kidding.
I like to, again, I don't know that I would go as far as to say it's a superstition, but I do enjoy or prefer to drink out of that mug or that cup during any sporting event that I watch.
Okay.
So I don't know that I don't know that I'd say it's a superstition, but
so let me ask you this. If you're at home and you didn't drink out of that cup or you didn't think about it, you just sat down and was watching a game, would you feel drawn to have to go get that cup?
Yes.
Oh, so it's a superstition.
It is. Is that what is that? I mean, is that how
that's the way I view it. Like if you aren't doing it and you feel like, oh, I need to do this, like you are drawn to doing that thing.
That's interesting.
Or it throws you off, or it could get some bad juju.
That's interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. A little
I'll use it.
stitious.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a little stitious. I'll use it. I'll stick with that one. That's good.
Gotcha. So your beer stein.
Yeah, as far as like preaching and stuff goes, I mean, you know, I like Sunday mornings, I get to the office and I got to spend at least, a few minutes of prayer by myself in my office. Just um I preach from the same Bible every week. I've done that. I've done that.
Okay.
I know a lot of pastors have like their preaching Bible, but then I've also learned recently that there are a lot of pastors that like some will just use an iPad, some have like different, the it doesn't matter what Bible they're preaching from, like they'll just
Yeah.
grab one to
How do you feel about preachers that do that?
that switch it up.
No, that like preach from an iPad.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Okay.
You preach from an iPad, right?
Yeah, I don't. I
Do you have
I don't
do
think.
you have a Bible?
I guess I've never really thought about this, to be honest. I don't think I have ever preached outside of preaching a sermon in like seminary and Bible college, like where I was in a preaching class where I had a Bible up there with me.
So I don't believe, and now this is going to be controversial, but I don't believe that like a specific Bible, like holding, like I think the words of Scripture are what's holy, right? I think the words
Correct.
of Scripture, from the original language and then translated into whatever version you read or prefer. Um, I think it's the text
Correct.
that is holy, right?
Not the
Not the
method of
carrier of
delivery.
the text.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't. So as far as like if you preach from an iPad, I think
Yeah. And I think that's so interesting because I 110% agree with that, obviously, because I preach
you're
with
doing
my iPad.
it.
But yeah, that it's wild to me, but that is controversial. I mean, like
Oh, very
I, I
much
I
so.
know people that, don't like the fact that you can read the Bible on an iPad. They feel like
Right.
that's like something's wrong with that, or but it's in
Yeah.
your head
Yeah.
because
And what's
it's not a books, it's not the pages, it's not the
right.
paper, it's not the bindings, it's
No,
not any of that.
no.
It's it's the content,
Yeah.
it's the text itself.
Because
So
if you're gonna go
yeah,
that far, it's
I don't even, you know, open up the Bible app. Like I have, in my notes,
you've
I'll have the scripture just
laid it
typed
out.
out in there and
Yeah.
just use it that way. And I've always done it. Even before I had an iPad, I printed it out on paper and I had like a little binder that I would preach from
Yeah.
that way. And, you know,
Do you have a lot of notes? Like, like,
I script out the whole thing.
do you really?
Yeah.
Huh. For some reason, that kind
Yeah.
of surprises me. What do you think I
Yeah.
do? What do you think I do?
Uh, very vague few bullet points.
Dude, I literally walk on stage with a Bible. Sometimes I have my iPhone that has notes on it.
So let me tell you why.
That's all
And
I
this
got.
is the reason why is I learned really quick that if I don't have a script to follow, I will rabbit trail and I will preach for probably an hour and 20 minutes
Yeah.
because I get going, I get excited about something, I'll have a thought while I'm preaching and I'll run with it. And I still do that from time to time. Like so I have it scripted out in it. It's in a weird it's an outline form,
Yeah.
but it is
So it's not like word.
not
So like word for
no
word. You're
hang on. It
oh,
is,
okay.
but it's done in an outline form. It's the way my brain works. It's
Yeah.
what I've learned that works for me. I mean, it is like a true outline that you would do in school, but it is
It's scripted.
scripted. So if you read
Like
it, it
I
would
could
sound like a script
I could take your notes and preach the
and
same
preach a
exact
message.
message that you
Yes.
preached. Okay.
It wouldn't be the
So
exact because I don't follow it for word to word. I'm not like up there reading it.
okay.
So what I do is I have that out there, and then for me, I'm the same. Like I will spend, some time in my office before praying, but I also go through and then I make notes on everything. So I write little phrases, words out to the side. I have
Yeah.
color coded highlighters and pens that I use all through. It's a mess. Like it's wild looking. But that way, if I do feel like I'm getting off track, I can jump back in and see what my thought was.
Yeah.
But I don't really use it. I use my notes that I script off to the side or like the little bullet points that are out for the side. So
Right.
if I didn't have it and just had like an outline of my message points of scripture, I could preach it.
Right.
But I feel like I would preach even longer than I already do because I would just rabbit trail. So it keeps me focused.
Yeah.
So it's a script, but I don't read it.
Well, the only issue I've ever had with scripted messages is I sadly got my hands on a copy of somebody that scripts their messages, and in the script was
don't say it. I know where you're going with this. Don't say it. Is it really?
Cry here, get emotional here, it's basically like spiritual manipulation in a script form. And
I hate that.
Dude,
I hate every second of that.
Oh gosh, it made me so mad. But it also, I was like, for the person that it was makes sense. But anyways, yeah, dude, I don't.
Wow.
Let's move on. I need to move on from that. Yeah,
I don't do that.
I preach with with very few notes, if any at all. I do. I mean, I obviously do all my prep work throughout the week, and Andy, some of us just like to leave room for the Holy Spirit.
I don't know if you all be able to see this, but this is like, well, is it focusing on that? No, it's whited out.
Wait, yeah, it's all whited out.
I was gonna show y'all.
Hold it back by you. What? Because
back by me. It might be the. No.
Oh, come closer. Okay, kind of. Yeah. So there's your scripture, and then
so there's
some notes to the left.
Yeah, so there's underlines, there's squiggly lines, there's stuff written off to the side and red, it's a mess.
No.
But it works for my jacked up brain.
All right. What about you? You got any superstitions?
So quickly, superstitions. Yeah, I'm pretty superstitious, but it's funny because it's only when with the Bengals, like when Louisville plays, like in football, like I don't really. Okay. In basketball, I don't really have. Now, if we get deep into like in basketball, like the year we won the national championship that they took from us, but I still hold that we won it. Right. I won't get into that again. But I had some superstitions, like some things I had to wear and things like that. But when the Bengals, bro, it's bad. Like it's gotten worse. Like now, after we had that great season, it's gotten bad, man. Like we started off the season, I had to wear my T. Higgins jerseys, and I had a cup from Skyline, the Jamar Chase Cup that I was drinking out of, and had to wear a certain hat. And then we lost, so I'm like, okay, I got to change it all up. So the next week I wore my AJ Green jersey because he was being, put in the Ring of Honor. So I wore my AJ Green jersey, went and got another cup. I got a Mike Hilton cup, and then so I was drinking out of that. Had the jersey, put a different hat on. And then we were losing at halftime, so I went and switched my jersey back to the jersey. So it's bad, bro. So I mean, it's so bad that yesterday when we got the Roosters to watch the game for that diaper party, like I had brought my jersey with me to church to put on to watch the game, and we got in there. They were getting ready to kick off, and I saw someone sitting in there with a Bengals jersey, and I'm like, "Oh crap, I got to go put my jersey on." So I just got up from the table, went back out to the car. Put my jersey on over top of my hoodie and came back in, and they were all dogging me. But
that's amazing.
It worked. So I might have to wear the same hat, jersey, and everything for next, after the bye week. So yeah, it's bad. When I preach, like I said, there's little things I do, but I have to have a Hall's lemon honey cough drop.
Interesting. That
in my mouth while I preach.
Yeah, that's specific. Yeah.
If I run out, I'll figure out something. It can be another one, but yeah, it's like my little security blanket, I guess. I don't know.
You're pretty stitious.
Yeah, I'm pretty stitious, bro. That's that OCD, man. I think if I went and got did some testing, I would be
Yeah.
clinically diagnosed OCD
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But it's weird because it only shows up in certain areas of my life, and but when it is, it's strong.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. Next question. Similar kind of vein, I guess. Maybe what are some of your pet peeves, or maybe the number one things that pushes your button that might be
Yeah.
ridiculous? Or I've got
So,
two.
so this, yeah, I had to think about this one, but so I'll say three. I'll give you three. So
Okay.
one of them is going to get me in trouble, but I hate bad tippers. Like if I go to a
Okay.
restaurant with somebody and and even if the service was poor, like I'm whether it's compassion or grace or whatever it is that's
Benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
benefit of the doubt, it's like, you know, I always tip, you know,
Okay.
pretty well. And I get and I get frustrated when I'm with people that don't.
So let me quickly ask, do you find yourself eyeballing other people's receipts after they fill it out and they put their
Um
tip in?
so that's a good question. It yeah, it sometimes it depends on who I'm with because I know who they are. Does that make
Have you
sense?
noticed mine?
I've not. Are you a bad tipper?
No, I love
Andy.
tipping.
Okay,
No, I'm
good.
a good tipper. I love
All
a
right.
tip.
No, because for me it's like I've come behind people and left, extra cash on the table or something like that.
Okay, you
After
have.
they've left. Yeah, yeah, after they've left. Like I try my
I've
best
done that. I've
because
done that a time or two as well.
I'm also not about like I'm not trying to call them out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the bad tipper is out because
You know what's
even though I
crazy, and
get frustrated by it, but
this isn't going to be surprising, but we have our worship leader, his wife used to be a server, and I think at like Mark's Feed Store, and so did my sister-in-law, and they're both believers, and they said they hated working Sundays, and
dude,
everyone there, no one ever wanted to work Sundays because the church crowd were the worst
it's the
tippers.
worst. I've yeah, that's been that everybody says that, and
Isn't that freaking awful?
that pisses me off more
Yeah,
than
it's
anything.
gross.
It's absolutely
It's
ridiculous.
gross.
So,
Hey,
anyways,
people, freaking tip. I know we get frustrated with tip. The tipping culture, I think, is probably haywire a bit. But when you go out to a restaurant, your whole life, it's been known that you tip. And if you get great service, tip them great. If they're not great, still take care of them because that's their
yeah,
livelihood.
and you don't know what's going
How
on
they're
in
making
their
their
life.
money.
Yeah, exactly. And
Now, I will be honest. There's been a few times that I have not tipped well, and it was some extreme circumstances.
no, and that's
But
fine if it's
But
extreme.
there's also times that I've had really bad experience at a restaurant and the server was phenomenal and apologetic
Yeah,
and I tipped them
I should tip.
very well.
Right.
Um it was so bad that like a lot of our meal was comped and it wasn't just like it was like it was a bad experience.
Yeah.
But she was phenomenal, so I tipped her based off of what the
Right.
meal would have been and because it wasn't her fault at all.
Yeah.
And so but just be aware of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, man. And then I mean, in all things, I think especially as believers, man, we got to live with grace.
Yeah.
We need to provide the
Absolutely.
same grace we receive on a daily.
Absolutely. All
What other
right.
pet peeves?
My
Push the
second
buttons.
one, my second one are the people that stand at the gate to get on a plane or like before it's their time. So it's like if you're in zone 400 and you're the first person at the gate, we're all going to the same place. And they give you zones for a reason so that you don't flood and cause
Yeah,
chaos
yeah.
at the gate. So sit down or move. Get out of the way.
Relax,
Dude,
relax.
I don't know why that makes me so
Do you
frustrated.
so like if someone flies Southwest, you get like A, Group B, Group C, and then you get numbers in there. So like if Group A is boarding and someone that's like boarding in like the front of Group C and they're already just like hovering around the area waiting for theirs to be called. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't stand that. There's a
that's
term for those
hilarious.
people. There's probably a handful of different terms for those people. I can't think of
I'm
what they
sure.
are. Yeah, I don't know why that makes me mad, but it does.
That's funny. I love
And
it.
then the one that'll get me in trouble is a huge pet peeve of mine is when my wife's like, when I'm like, hey, we gotta leave in 5 minutes. And she's like, all right, I'll be ready. And then 30 minutes later, she's still not ready. Can't stand that.
Bold. That
Dude,
was that
can't
was a
stand
bold
it, bro.
statement right there,
I know.
bro.
I know. That's how confident I am that she doesn't listen to this
That's
podcast.
what I was going to say. Either you're super confident that she's not listening to this whatsoever, or you want all the smoke.
That's right. No,
I'm
man.
gonna text her and be like, "Hey, you need to listen to today's podcast. It was really good."
It's
I would never.
it's so irritating.
That's funny.
I know a lot. I
All
know
right.
a lot of husbands deal with that though, and even some wives. I know, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a lot of men that are that way too. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I mean, if you follow my wife on Instagram every Sunday, her and the kids go out to the car, and I linger around
Just
talking to
wait.
people or doing this. So she has a selfie of her and the kids every Sunday. She puts on her stories like, "Guess what time it is? Wait on Andy to shut up, Tom." So,
All right. What about you?
for me, probably the number one push my buttons pet peeve is loud chewing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, especially, and I think this comes with ADHD, but if I am in like a hyper focus cycle, so if I'm working on something and I'm like writing something or I'm really like zoned in, locked in, everything in the world around me is gone. The only thing that'll break through that barrier are my kids eating chips or my son drinking anything out of a can. Because there's that little lip around every can and a little bit of liquid gets stuck there. And he feels it necessary to slurp that little bit every drink. So we get them Izzy's a lot. I don't know if you know what Izzy's are. It's like a carbonated like fruit
Oh yeah, yeah,
flavored
yeah,
soda thing or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And they're little cans, like a little Red Bull can almost looking size. And dude, like it's become a joke in my house, but it is like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's just like I'm like, bro, look, every time I told you we had this conversation last week. I'm like, look, dude, I love you, but every time you tip that can up and drink, there's going to be a little liquid that sits there. If you don't slurp that up, it's not going to fill and overflow. It's just going to be the same. And then if you want to do that, your last drink to get just every last little bit of it, go for it. But it's unnecessary to do it every drink. And sure enough, it's like, I'm just like, oh God, I can't stand it. So
Like,
yeah, so that's it. But I know that's more of a me issue than anything. But yeah, it's like it's the worst. And then the other one is double drive-throughs, like a drive-through that has two ordering windows. Because inevitably I will pick the wrong one every time and just lose my crap. I'll just lose it every time.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It just drives me insane.
Yeah, that's a good
Drives
one.
me insane.
That's
We'll just
so
leave.
funny.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
All right, those are good stuff, man. We got time for a few more. Trying to be aware of our time. So let me see. Let's jump to this one. If you could spend the day with anyone that is alive today, who would it be and why? And maybe two people, if you have to.
Wow. Alive today.
Yeah, I say alive today because if I said ever, someone
know.
you'd inevitably be like Jesus.
Well,
But I guess we could say Jesus
is
because he
alive
is
today.
alive today.
Jesus
There
is
we
alive
go.
today,
Look,
Andy.
I caught myself
Come
before
on,
I got
Pastor
roasted.
Andy. Golly.
Oh man.
Jesus. And no. Who are yours? I didn't think about
Okay.
that. You have any at the top?
Mine's easy. Mine is
Okay.
easy. There's two.
Yeah.
They're both former football players. And this is super surface level, but I think this would just be incredible. I mean, I could pick a lot of like people that I think would be cool, but freaking Marshawn Lynch
Yeah, the beast mode.
and Chad Ochocinco.
Man, those are good.
Chad Johnson. I think and maybe I would be disappointed. I don't know. But dude, they seem so themselves.
Yeah.
They're raw, they're honest, they're unapologetically them, they're hilarious. I dude, I think it would just to think about spending the day with Marshawn Lynch. It would be exhausting, I'm sure, because dude is all over the place. But man, I think that would be awesome. And it probably shows you the level of like, if I could pick anybody in the world today, it would be like
That's
this
would
great
be.
leader. This. I'm like beast mode.
No,
So
no, I'll follow suit because uh the one person that came to mind quickly was like I'm a huge soccer guy, right? And we talked about
right,
the Beckham
yeah,
documentary that came out, and David Beckham's always been one of my favorite soccer players because he uh in high school I played uh the position that he did. Well, I played goalie too, but um my preferred position was down the right wing and some in the middle. And so I just loved watching him play. And I love his love for his wife and for his family. And I've always been super impressed by that.
yeah,
And so I'd love to spend a meal with him. And he's also super entrepreneurial now. And
yeah.
uh,
Just to pick his brain that way.
yeah, yeah. He just seems like a fascinating character, even outside of
Yeah.
his soccer career. Um, dude, I don't know, man. That's so hard.
I mean,
Uh,
there's tons that we could say. I
there's
mean, there's other
so
people like I'm
many.
thinking about that I would be like, yeah, that'd be awesome too. Yeah, that'd be great too. Like some leaders,
Like
strong leaders.
Donald Trump probably. I'd like to spend some time with him. Uh, don't say that.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
Nah, nah. Definitely, he'd be pretty. He'd be pretty low on my list. I'm all right with that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
I'm all right with all that one. Dude, that's I don't know, bro. I might have to
I
come
mean, I
back.
like the David Beckham. That'd
Let's
be cool. Yeah.
let's keep going. And if I think of one, I'll let you know.
All right. Probably got
It's
time for
lame,
one
but
more. Um, what is a TV show series or show that other people love that you think is overrated?
uh,
And or it could be or what is your guilty pleasure show?
mm, this one might get me in trouble, but I feel like a lot of people have this argument. But I am a hardcore Friends guy, and
Okay.
Seinfeld, interestingly, never tickled my fancy. My dad was a
Okay.
huge my dad was a huge Seinfeld guy, and always
Yeah.
I watched it with him a lot. Like I thought it was funny, there were,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of people either choose Friends or Seinfeld, and
Yeah.
I heavily fall on the Friends side.
Yeah. That's funny because Seinfeld is probably mine too. Like that I think is I don't even want to say it's overrated because I've heard it's amazing. I just never got into it. I watched a few episodes. I just couldn't like I don't
Yeah,
know. I just struggled with it. I just couldn't like track. And it may have just been my age at the time, and
yeah,
even when it came out, I was younger. Maybe if I went back and watched it now in
yeah.
my 40s, it'd be like, oh yeah, that's good stuff. Um, and I like Friends too. I've been forced to like Friends.
Because your
It's my
wife,
wife's favorite show. We
don't
go
you
to
watch it every
every
night?
every night, bro.
Yeah.
Every freaking night. Now, a show that I can't stand, and it's not even that I think it's overrated, it's just annoying as all get out, is Gilmore Girls. She
So
likes that show too, and she'll start trying to watch that. And I'm like, please, no. Like, I don't care. Go back to Friends. Please, no. I can't stand it. They talk too fast. It's all over the place. It's just no, no,
oh gosh, that's
no.
hilarious.
Um, a show I love, and I don't know if it'd be guilty pleasure show, but is New Girl.
Oh, yeah, I love. Oh my gosh. I
Amazing.
honestly,
Hilarious.
Has always said to me, and this is super rude, by the way, but Katie's always said to me, if she and I didn't meet in high school, I'd probably be Nick. Like my life would turn out to be like Nick. And I was like, that's the rudest thing you've ever said. But she's
Like
probably not
how
wrong.
how dare you?
She's probably
It may
not
be
wrong.
true, but how
My
dare you?
oh gosh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
My other guy. I know who my other guy is.
Okay.
Tom Hardy, actor
Okay.
from England. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but I'm obsessed with that guy.
Nice.
Not on a sexual level, but you know what I mean.
Good. Good.
Just, I just
I don't think you needed
if that wasn't
to
assumed, I just wanted to
I
make
didn't think you
if
needed
that
to
was
imply that, or yeah, I don't think anyone took that as what you were saying. But thank you for clarifying. We appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know if I would be opposed, but initially that's not what I would say.
You were off the rails today. Off the rails. Oh man, good stuff. So, hey, if you have any other questions for us like these, I know they're kind of silly questions, just throw them out there. But just to get the little glimpse and insight
That's right.
into us, just kind of on a surface level, fun ways. But if you have any other questions, man, feel free to drop in the comment section, in any of our social media platforms or on YouTube. We'll address them.
Real quick,
Yeah.
fascinating thought. So both of my guys were British.
Yeah.
My wife read
Mine
this
were not.
I know, but my wife read this article the other day that said it basically implied that Americans are the only like people group that fantasize about the English. Like the rest of the
Really?
world hates England. It hates English people. I mean that's a over general. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a whatever whatever word exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And yet Americans tend to be the primary group of people that like fantasize about British people.
Drawn
And
to
isn't
them.
that fascinating?
Yeah. That is.
And it
That
makes
actually is.
yeah, like all those old time like what do they call them, period pieces, like period movies and books, and stuff that are written about old England and yeah, and it's like only Americans really fantasize about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, fascinating thought.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, move on.
Sweet.
Where are
All
we at
right.
now?
Well, like I said, if you needed any, have any other questions or want us to talk about anything, we're here for it. We'd love to get some more interactions, some dialogue. Throw it out there. If you have questions for us, man, hit us up. If you want us to talk about something, we'll go for it. So, but now at this time, you know what time it is.
What time is it? What time it is?
It's time for the unmasked reaction of the week.
You didn't do
We
your
gotta record it.
week.
Oh, no, I added that last week. I forgot about it.
Yeah,
I guess I was inspired in my my new setup last week, to throw that out there.
Oh, that's right.
So I sent you a video.
My turn.
It's a little lengthy and it's very cringe. So feel free once it gets going to you're not going to miss anything by continuing to watch. We'll get the gist pretty quick about what's happening here.
All right. So first and foremost, it looks like my internet's not working.
That's tight.
Give me a quick second on my phone.
Sure.
Let's see if I can get this to connect.
So, Calvary pay the bills,
dude. All right, here we go. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
So this is at a church
from Salisbury, North Carolina. Give him a round of applause, Mr. James Canutt, for his very first time.
Applaud. The guy's coming up on stage. Oh, I have seen this guy before.
Yeah.
Somebody sing me a gospel song. Tell me again that God is love is strong. And I'm forgiven for what I've done wrong. Somebody sing me a gospel song.
I know.
I need to hear that sweet melody with words about the hope he's given me.
Oh my gosh. So here, real quick. I don't know if it matters, but whatever that filter is on Zoom, like cleared out any of the music. So it was even worse because all you could hear was him singing, just his voice. So you couldn't hear anything else.
Do it again.
So maybe just a snippet of it. So whatever that setting is, flip that off. But it was even 10 times worse. We just got the full raw uncut version of it.
Dude, I don't know.
Because it was just his voice.
It went away. That little
That's
button
fine.
you used to click. All right, so basically here, so dude comes on stage, gets announced, big applause. It's like some special guest singer.
Yeah, I think it looked like you could see it looks like some like teenagers sitting in the front row too.
Yeah. And he gets on stage, can't sing a lick.
Yeah, he's got like some like
and he's like
old like tattered or not tattered, but just like worn out looking baggy khaki pants, right? And like a
like a bright blue
polo or something. Yeah,
and he's like looking at his lyrics, not like like he's just like staring down like this.
He's like staring at him, and like then he keeps like leaning over back to it to get to it, bro. Like so, like I hate like okay.
I have a take. You ready?
I don't want to be a bully, like in like because I was even like, man, I don't even know if I should share this one because I don't want to make fun of this guy. But
okay,
my guy, like we gotta know, like, dude, I can't sing to save my life. Therefore, I'm not singing.
Yeah,
but I think I could sing better than that guy.
I think I don't know if I'd go as far as to say this is another pet peeve of mine or not, but
bring it.
I do struggle.
Bring it.
I do struggle with like obviously this dude was celebrated enough by probably his family, you know, told he could sing by enough people that it gave him the confidence to take his show on the road. And he shouldn't have. He just shouldn't have. And so like at some point like there's a level of like, sure, we got to celebrate each other. And if people are passionate about music, like, man, you know, like you don't want to like kill their dreams or whatever. But at the same time, like this dude just went on a tour to embarrass himself. Because you know what I mean? And that's, but that, and that's not, that can't also be okay.
So yeah, I was going to say, so like for one, it's like the whole American Idol, like, auditions premise.
Absolutely.
Like people get in there, some of them obviously are doing it for clout. Other people go in there like because their circle has told them that they are the stuff, like they can sing.
That's right.
And they can't. But so let me ask you this. I coming as pastors, leaders in church, and you're a worship leader.
Yeah.
Like where does the line get drawn in telling somebody you can't be on the worship team?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because that's a tough one, man. Because I've experienced both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So I've been at churches where if you want to go up there and sing, you get on the schedule and you go sing, or in the choir or a musician, and they're awful. And they're like, well, they want to worship.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but we're to make a joyful noise to the Lord. We're not joyful about that.
So I do think though, so it's hard. I think context, it matters as well. You know, church size, you know, are you like the culture of the people? Like, I mean, all of that, I think you got to take all that in consideration. The hard part is like, it's awkward. It's embarrassing. It's sometimes like it's just really hard to tell somebody, listen, not as good. You're not good enough to sing on stage.
I don't think this is your gift.
Yeah. Like that's a really, and I've had to do it a few times.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's the worst part. But the thing is, but I think the flip side of it is though, as worship leaders, and there's probably you know, people are going to argue this too, but like as worship leaders, like our job, our role, what I believe we've been given from a corporate worship perspective, when like worship through song, worship through singing, worship through music.
Yeah.
Like we're creating an atmosphere and an environment for the body to engage in adoration of a good God, right?
Yeah.
And so when you in music, like I believe God created music, melody, rhythm. Like I think it was I think it was intentionally created because to move people, like to
it
move our
stirs
hearts,
emotion.
to stir
Yeah.
emotion, and there's nothing like somebody getting on stage and just like, I mean, giving it their best, but they can't sing a lick. They're off key, off pit, and it's and it just kills the atmosphere.
It's distracting.
It's distracting.
So you and I'm trying to be very careful with this. We were in a situation with each other recently where there was some worship that we were trying to partake in. That was
rough.
It was rough.
It was rough.
And
some of it was the environment of the place. Some of it, but it was rough.
But it was, I couldn't, like, I was in no way led into a state of worshiping God. And maybe that says more about me than them. And I own that. Like, you know what I mean? I think, but being someone who loves music, someone that is borderline perfectionism, and you know, I can't, like, if I get into an environment and the music is bad, offbeat, singing's bad, like, I just, like, I can't think of anything other than how bad it is. And but on the flip side, you know, I've been in an environment too where, like, you want to be on the worship team, okay, you got to go through these auditions, and you've got to audition here, and then go to the second audition, and then the third audition, and then maybe you'll make our B team.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, you just, like, told me I might make the B team, and you've never heard me play drums.
Right.
Like, literally, like, at one point, like, I went like 3 years at this church asking our worship leader, who was phenomenal, by the way, incredible musician. Our worship was amazing. And was like, dude, I can play. Like, if you ever need someone to play, let me know. Like, I was the youth pastor. Like, I'll play. And he's like, yeah, maybe we'll have some auditions one day soon, and you can be on the B team, kind of thing. And then, like, we finally, like, had to bring in some new musicians, and I went and auditioned for the drums. He's like, oh, bro, you can play.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been telling you.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been on the flip side too, where it's almost impossible to get in. But at the same time, like, at Life Point, like, if someone's like, hey, I play or I sing, I'd love to be on the worship team. I'm like, cool. Why don't you come to our rehearsal next Sunday morning or another Sunday morning and practice with our team?
Yeah.
And that way we're not just throwing you up there. And then if they get up there and it's rough, then we know that
that's right.
We can turn down their mic.
Yeah.
If that's terrible, if need be.
No,
I don't know if I'm giving away
trade
secrets. We can have an extra guitarist up there and just not have them on.
No. When you run, we run in-ears here. So, like, our monitors for our musicians are coming from headphones.
Yeah,
right,
ours too.
Ears. And you can have the singer can hear themselves through their in-ears and not be coming through the main speakers.
Right. Yeah. Do you have, do they have, so we run ours through, whatever it is, like, each musician has an app that they can pull up, and they can adjust what's going into their in-ears.
Right. But
that's not what's going through the system.
No, what their monitor settings is separate from what's going to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. So, like, when I played drums, like, before I became the lead pastor, I played drums almost every week. And, depending on who was there, I would have, the worship leader's guitar up and his vocals and the bass. But if we had new, backup singers or, people on the worship team, whatever, dude, gone.
Bring them
out
down.
of here. Out of here. They're out of there. Guitarist, struggling, out of there. Like, I only need what I need.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know, dude. It's a tough question, man.
Yeah, man. So my guy on the video, dude, I'll do the good Southern.
Best of luck to him.
The good Southern thing, man. Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. Good luck to his career. He's I've seen
Bless
him in
his heart.
another video, and the one thing that I think helps my justification of maybe some I don't know.
I don't know what you're about to say.
Dude, I
I'm
don't know how
loving
to
it though.
say it. Some of my opinions, the justification of some of my opinions of the guy is the fact that I've seen another video and it looks like it might be of the same place where he's just he's like praising himself. He's like, yeah, I've done this, I've sang here, I've sang with these people, I've got all of this.
Yeah.
And then he goes and sings another song and it's just bad, man. And it's like
terrible. So I think I saw, now that you're saying that, I think I've seen one too, and I think it's him as well, where he gets up there and he's like they start playing the music, but he doesn't start on time. Then he gets mad and like goes over to them and like
that's what I'm talking
and then
about.
instead of them restarting it, he just jumps back in like halfway through it and it's off the whole time. Yeah, I think I've seen that one too.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
Good
about.
stuff.
He's like,
hey, you know what? Know your skill set. If you have people in your life, love them enough to tell them if they are not good. That's the way to be the best friend you can possibly be, is lovingly being honest with the people in your life.
That's a good word. Way to conclude this on a positive note.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I try to do. Try to inspire the people. Take an action step. There's your action step this week. Lovingly do it, doing it at the right time, the right place. Don't put them on blast in front of everybody. But if they can't sing, lovingly tell them that they suck and they should never sing publicly again. But do it in a loving way. All right, we're going to hop out of here, everybody. We appreciate you all. We love you. Again, like, subscribe, follow us, notifications, drop a comment, share it with everyone, anyone and everyone. If you like this content, if you have feedback and you don't like it, hey, we want to hear it. We'd love to know how we can improve and grow. So love you guys, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.